Mahatma Gandhi. How's he connected to a fashion movement now?
Gandhi starts disrobing himself as his political and social beliefs become stronger and stronger. So when he was in England studying to be a lawyer, he wanted to be a gentleman. By the time he got to India, and he went through the length and breadth of India and saw how poorly it had been treated by the colonizers and robbed of its wealth. The Khadi movement said, burn all the clothes that are made in England because, they're robbing us of our cotton, they're robbing us of our jobs, robbing us of the village economy. He realized that when he said, burn your clothes, the poorest of the poor didn't even have clothes to wear. So he literally took off all his clothes and wore what is called the loincloth. Winston Churchill referred to Gandhi as the half-naked fakir, the poorest of the poor. And Gandhi took that as a compliment. Now, that sartorial journey is about being able to talk about your sense of morality and integrity through the clothing choices.
I'm struggling with the notion that a former editor of Vogue India sees a future for us in loincloths.
I can't certainly tell someone who is struggling to make ends meet, you can't possibly be wearing polyester. I think everyone has their own journey. So I completely recognize the fact that I had to go through an entire system and a cycle of consumption to realize what I'm doing to harm the environment personally. And as someone in the media, especially someone who worked in a very consumerist environment like Vogue, which I learned everything from, to reach a point to say, hold on, I can't continue like this.
So what is sustainability then when it comes to clothing?
We are making in the excess of 500 billion T-shirts per year. Yeah. And so we do not need that many clothes. So as much as I'm a big champion and activist for sustainability and all into anyone who's sort of involved in innovative practices that can bring changes in the kind of clothing fabrics that we use that don't harm our environment, I think on a personal note and a plea to customers and consumers like you and me is just buy less. We go on diets, some brutal diets where we deny ourselves certain types of foods. We want to cleanse our system. There is no reason why we shouldn't be on a fashion diet, why we should not commit to 1 year, 2 years of not buying at all.
Of the stuff that we buy, what should we be buying?
Wonderful to participate in the clothing and fashion world if we can buy pieces that have value, have a story. Anything that will make you hold it close to your heart. We all travel. If you're going to travel to Indonesia and you pick up an ikat jacket that's made by hand, you know the backstory. You know the village community that created it. You'll be the last person to put it in a bin. It's very difficult for me to throw away a shawl my grandmother gave me, even if there's 5 holes in it, because it has a sense of memory. So we need to give clothes that value, the nostalgia, that cultural context, the narrative that makes us want to keep them longer.
You have people who are dependent for their livelihoods on the fact that we will buy more T-shirts than we need in any given year. What happens if we all do start buying less?
If we continue to say, I'm willing to buy a T-shirt that costs less than a cup of coffee, then there's something fundamentally wrong in the way we purchase. In fact, what we should be saying to these companies, we don't want them to go out of existence because they give jobs to millions of people in developing countries and underdeveloped countries. We should say we are willing to pay more if you are going to give fair wages to the people who work for you.
Buy less, pay more. Buy stuff with meaning.
Correct. And we need to hold these companies accountable. So therefore, we have amazing social media revolutions, the movements. One of them is Fashion Revolution that says, who made my clothes? You can tag the company that you're wearing, you can hashtag it and ask them directly, who made my clothes? The whole idea is we want a system of transparency, accountability. I do want to buy that T-shirt, but I also want to know when I'm paying for it, the person who made it is not voiceless, is not faceless, is not invisible, and is being given fair wages.